If you're getting that piriformis pain where, you're on the roller or you're sitting on the floor and you feel that nice big nodule, foam rolling and releasing with a ball can help. That's really just changing the input. Oftentimes, the piriformis muscle has been overstretched and it's becoming a little bit weak. So when we're approaching any kind of fascial or soft tissue release, we like to perform fascial flossing. So we're going to find the ouchy spots. That's the technical term for those trigger points. And you're going to prop your body weight up onto that. And then instead of just rolling it back and forth, we're going to pin it and we're going to move. So we're pinning down that tissue. We're using the opposite muscles on the opposite side, so the adductors in this case, to help shut down or inhibit the piriformis or those deep hip glute muscles. So 3 to 5 repetitions on per spot. If you find that the foam roller is too broad, you can use a tennis ball or you can use a lacrosse ball. Just note that there's a sciatic nerve in there and you don't want to press on that. It can be a little irritating. So if it's too much pressure, stick to the foam roller, find that spot, and just perform a couple of fascial flosses. Now that the input has been changed and altered, we can add and start to integrate some new movement. So going into kind of a pigeon stretch or a shin box, we can start to work into that new range of motion that we want to find with this. And use support from your body, because we don't want to go too much into this because it could fire the muscle back up into a tone, into protective spasm. So come on down into that pigeon. You can go into full pigeon. You can modify it whatever feels the most comfortable. And we're going to scan around and we're going to feel and hold where we can control that. So we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. As we exhale, we'll see if we can find more range of motion into this. And as it relaxes, we're going to slowly control into that. In this pigeon pose position, we can start loading it up and strengthening in the long range here. So we're just doing some presses in that pigeon pose, and then we'll swing the leg around, and we'll get onto the back, and we're going to do what we call a piriformis bridge. So I'm in this figure 4 position, and I'm doing a glute bridge on the outside of the ankle, and I'm lifting up the hip. As I press in, I'm going to bridge up. So now we're going after those rotators, the rotator component of the piriformis, and I'm going to press in. Use your hands as you need to, and then slowly work those eccentrics all the way down. You can sit on up, come into another stretch here. It's a little bit less, but then we curl back down. We can come back up. We can then even work into that internal rotation into here as we wiper the hip back and forth, taking the piriformis into its short and its long range. When you're finished, go back and check to see, is there still a trigger point? Is there still some knots? Is the range of motion that you checked improved? Can you feel the glutes firing up on that side? If so, then this was the lock and the key that we needed to unlock our movement potential and get the glutes to fire back up. If you want to learn how to assess the hip and really get to the root cause of why that piriformis might be firing up on your clients, you can head over to amtcertified.com. We have a systematic framework that helps guide you to the exact reason why a muscle might be toned up, because we don't want to just stretch and release muscles, because essentially muscles are dumb. Muscles are just doing what the nervous system's telling them to do. And if the nervous system's telling them to protect something or stabilize something, and we release it for no reason or just randomly, we might be taking away a lot of that stability. So we want to find out, if we have a tight muscle, why is it there? And the way to do that is through a good system.